Okay, we are ready to go. It is pretty miserable out there, although I can see some blue sky. Welcome back, everybody. I've just about come down from Wednesday, which was an exciting day. I enjoyed it. I was well looked after. I enjoyed doing the live stream, and we managed to have some social distancing neighbours celebrations. Sister came over, and my wife looked after me very well. So, no, very nice indeed. Did take a little bit of time to come down from that. And for Alfie as well, actually. Unfortunately, he went to nursery again for the first time on Wednesday, and they gave him a nap. So he decided that 8:30 was fine for him to stay up to, and Daddy was putting him to sleep for about 2 hours. But it was lovely. It was lovely. He didn't get a nap the next day, believe me. Okay, what are we doing today? We're finishing off a bit about overcalls, and then we are going to look at a hand that Roselle sent in, and we are going to I'll talk about the website. We've also got some offers, a couple of softwares, both ACOL bidding and Begin Bridge are being offered at £46. And of course, ACOL bidding, I'm told, can be used in a browser. So you do have to have the internet connection there, but you can then play it on your iPad and things like that. So that's my original creation, the ACOL bidding, where I talk to you through the hands. And particularly, obviously, the bidding. That's what we're talking about. And Begin Bridge is for beginners. So if you do have people who want to learn it, so really spend a lot of time on creating that. And we do hope that if people get through it, they can come out of it at the end as a player. Well, that's the plan. And a player of Bernard Magee Bridge as well, which is good. And the website, we'll put that up again. It's Bernard Magee Bridge. And an opportunity for you to sign up to the new venture, which will be going ahead in 2 or 3 weeks. It's, I think, June the 22nd. Apologies, I think I might have said June the 21st, but we wanted to go out on the longest day of the year. Why not? June the 22nd, it's Monday. Monday is June the 22nd. So what have I got before we start? Well, there was a question, which was an interesting one, from someone who said about playing on BBO. When you play on BBO, if you set up your own table, you are still timed. You're still timed. And so sometimes they'll be chatting on Zoom and things like that, and then they'll find that they're moved on to another hand, or they're replaced by a robot, God forbid. So this is a little bit odd, and I think I've been chatting to a few people about this. I think it's because people just didn't play socially online before, because obviously the whole point about Social Bridge is that you play it socially. So it's a sort of new thing that has happened for them, and they haven't really set up. Remember, it is a free site, BBO, so they're not. It's not always perfectly smooth. However, I've come across an option, which is an option you can take. So if you do want a nice leisurely game at your own pace, you can go to the practice session. So you press on practice, and you then set up a teaching table. Okay, you set up a teaching table, but it's not completely simple. You do then have to click the options. You press on the option. The person who sets it up has to make sure that he can't see all of the cards, because obviously the idea of a teaching table is that the teacher's looking at all the cards and everybody else doesn't. So you do need to bear that in mind. Okay, so you can set up a table in the practice section, a teaching table, and as long as you make sure everybody just only sees their hand, you can play normal bridge there. The person who sets it up is responsible for moving on to the next deal. So they say re-deal after they finish. So you can take as long as you want over the deal, chat away, and you never get replaced by a robot or told to move on. Okay, so that's one option for you. I might be able to give you a link to a way of setting that up maybe on Monday for those of you who are more interested. Okay, before I move on, there's a shout out to Roger and Irene. Don't know if they're online, but your package arrived and there were 2 overwhelmed people and there'll be a card coming your way. So thank you, Roger and Irene. And let's move on. What are we going to talk about? Well, we've got to see the quiz. Let's have a look. So there you go. 2 no trumps you've opened, 4 no trumps from your partner. 2 no trump you have opened and 4 no trump from your partner. So have a little think about that again. I know most of you have seen it already. Just looking to see whether, I'm just looking across to Sandy said you can go to casual and then the alcohol club. So maybe you can do that if you're allowed to do that. If you're allowed to play casually in a club, that's a possibility. So we'll see. All right, let's go to our little PowerPoint. So we've been talking about overcalls this week, in between me getting excited about both the website launch and my birthday. We've managed to do some overcalling. So what are we going to finish with? Well, I've talked about all the reasons for overcalling, but there was one specific contract that we need to, in a way, look at in slightly different way, and that is 1 no trump. Okay, so overcalling over an an opening suit bid, it seems different. But over 1 no trump, and it is a bid that comes up a lot. Now, interestingly, around the rest of the world, in a way, this is not so important because it's a strong no trump that they tend to play, and so people don't tend to be so brave in coming in. But over a weak no trump, you do need to be braver. Okay, so the question is, how many points do you need to overcall a 1 no trump opening? And of course, if you have been listening to the seminars we've been doing on Monday and Wednesday, it's all about the reasons. It's all about the reasons. And one of the major reasons that we had for overcalling was disruption. And what a difference it makes over 1 no trump. So a large proportion of you who are writing in on the screen here probably have a good big system that you play. You maybe play Stayman, you play transfers, you use 2 spades for something, maybe even use 2 no trumps for something, and who knows. You have a whole system, and yet when I overcall 1 no trump, your system disappears. Okay, so that's crazy, isn't it? So just one bid and your wonderful system over a 1 no trump in response to a 1 no trump disappears. So that makes overcalling quite powerful over a weak no trump. Interestingly, it's one of the reasons I love the weak no trump is because people don't overcall enough. And because they don't overcall enough, we end up getting away with 1 no trump -1 or -2. The answer of 15 or more would be for the double. So to double a 1 no trump, you're looking for at least a good 15 or more. But to overcall, you don't need that. So a couple of you are answering in a way the question, what do you need to double? But to overcall, you certainly don't need 15 or 16. But a lot of you might say you need an opening hand. Okay, but actually, again, it's going to be reasons. So I would say probably 10 plus is a reasonable answer. I'm going to put 8 plus, and someone has put that one there, Alex Mathers. If you've got good enough reasons, so I don't necessarily recommend doing it on 8 points. Okay, but there will be the odd hand, and I'm going to show you one, which I'm happy if you pass, but I'm going to talk you through my reasons for bidding. However, there is also the option of it going 1 no trump pass, and we're going to see that to start with. Okay, so let's look at this hand for an example. So East has opened 1 no trump, South has passed, and West has passed. Okay, so 1 no trump from East, pass. Now, first and foremost, if East opened 1 no trump, if West had opened 1 no trump in front of me, I would not contemplate a 2 spade overcall. Okay, and one of the reasons I would not contemplate a 2 spades overcall is simple, is because I would be on opening lead against 1 no trump and I'd expect to get it down, or I'd have a good chance of getting it down. Okay, so generally for an overcall of 1 no trump, in the first seat, and by that I mean the first person to bid over one no trump, you should have a 6-card suit. Okay. However, when the bidding comes around to you, so it goes one no trump, pass, you're in a different situation here. There's two things to ask yourself. Where are all the points? Why hasn't West bid to gain? And of course the reason is he hasn't got enough points to it, which in turn means that your partner will have something. But I think perhaps the most important question here, is what is your partner going to lead against one no trump? So if you were able to signal to him, which is much more difficult now that we play online, but live you might have had the shoulder signal, as it were, the shoulder signal which obviously asks for a spade. Now you can do that now because nobody can see you. Obviously illegal live. Clearly you could then get a spade lead, but I don't think you're going to get a spade lead. And without a spade lead, I wouldn't be surprised if one no trump is making. If one no trump makes, I'm going to get a better score for bidding 2 spades going 1 off. So I'm prepared to gamble. Okay, so in the last seat, okay, you can overcall on slightly different hands. You know, I wouldn't want to be much weaker than this with a 5-card suit, but it's the strength of that suit. And the beauty is, now that you've bid spades, if they decide to carry on bidding, well, of course your partner will know what to lead. Okay, and that's crucial. So I don't expect to have a spade lead. If I'm lucky, my partner might lead a heart, but he may even lead a diamond or a club, and things will go really well for declarer. Okay, and in fact 2 spades minus 2 can be a good score if you don't get doubled. So let's have a look at the full hand here. You are in the north seat there, you were, and East on your right opened one no trump. He's got a horrible 4-3-3-3 hand, but he's got 14 points, so he's got a comfortable opening bid. And as you can see, it would go pass. Even playing non-transfer, so even playing 2 diamonds as a natural bid, you would not want to bid anything with the West hand, because those diamonds could be valuable in no trumps, as they surely will be, as you can see. So you pass, and it's North's bid. If North passes, to be honest, if I was South, I would be on lead. I would probably choose the Jack of Clubs lead. It turns out that a heart lead would work better, but I may well use the Jack of Clubs. It's a relatively safe lead, but it would allow declarer to make 9 tricks, as we'll see. Okay. Instead, we're going to overcall 2 spades. Now, 2 spades isn't particularly great contract. Your partner hasn't got much support for you, unfortunately. But you will only go 1 off. Okay, and I think the auction will carry on going past out. I don't think they can do anything. So they'll finish in 2 spades. I suppose West might decide to dredge up a bit of 3 diamonds or something, but even then they won't get a good score for it. So let's see what the scores would be. 2 spades, well, we're going to lose the ace of spades, ace of hearts, a diamond and 3 clubs. So you're going to go off. Okay. But East-West can make 9 tricks in no trumps and 9 tricks in diamonds, particularly on a club lead. Can you see that? They've got 5 top tricks. Ace, king of clubs, the queen of clubs, and 2 aces. And they're going to make 4 diamond tricks. So they'll make 9 tricks in no trumps as long as South leads a club. That's worth 150. As you can see, even if West does dredge up a 3 diamond bid, they'll only make 110. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so even if West manages to find a bid, which I think is probably pushing it. So here, 2 spades minus 1 is a huge victory. And if they try 3 no trumps, of course, now your partner knows what to lead. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's all about last seat. So again, we're doing a very weak bid here in last seat, but we've seen last seat bidding a number of times, particularly in the very first week. Seems a long time ago. Okay. So that's one overcall. How about this one? Have a look at this one. Again, it's West to open and you are North. Don't forget, I've put you in the North seat here. I know it's a little bit confusing, but you're going to be the hand at the top of the screen. So have a look at that one. Now, you don't have to bid on this one, and in fact I wouldn't expect many of you to bid, okay, because it is a weak hand, and you know it might get you into trouble. But I've given you the 10 of spades there, which is crucial. Okay, so it's not Queen Jack to 6, it's Queen Jack 10 to 6. So it's not unreasonable to hope that you might make 4 spade tricks. Okay, we're not in the protective seat yet, no. So not unreasonable to say you make 4 spade tricks, and you're going to probably surely make a club trick. So just without anything, okay, you know, 5 tricks. The problem is slightly different to the last hand. On the last hand, if I'm leading the king of spades, if I just take you back there, the king of spades lead, if I was the opening leader with the hand at the top there, I'd be thinking, yeah, I've got a powerful lead. On this hand, if I'm leading the queen of spades, okay, I'm not that actually happy I'm going to take this contract down, because I maybe have to knock out another high spade and may not have an entry to my winners. So am I going to overcall? I would overcall Lovell. So what's in your favour? You have spades. You are non-vulnerable, and it's so disruptive. It wouldn't surprise me if the opponents have a heart fit over 2 spades. It makes it really tricky. And even if they have a way of finding a heart fit, they won't know how strong they are. So overcalls are so disruptive here. Okay, I wouldn't want to be bidding 3 spades if anybody's thinking of that. That's just over the top there. Okay, generally for a 3-level overcall over 1 no trump, you should have a preemptive hand, a 7-card suit. Okay, because otherwise you will get yourself into trouble. Because I tend to play doubles for penalties after a no trump opening, so you will find yourself getting penalised probably too often. Okay, maybe, I suppose, if you were non-vulnerable against vulnerable, you might choose. So I'm quite happy if you pass. I do not want you to bid an Astro or Aspro bid with this hand. It's not suitable. This is a spade overcall. Okay, it's too weak for Aspro. It's a spade overcall. That's important. When you're 6 and 4, you want to show your long suit. Okay, all right, Astro was generally designed for 5-4s and 5-5s. Good system. I don't mind you playing it. I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, but for this kind of hand, you'd want to be showing your spades. Okay. So again, you don't have to bid. I'd expect a lot of you not to. But it's the fantastic potential of your spades, and it's the kind of hand that you might make 1 defensive trick, whereas you may well make 5 tricks if you're playing with spades as trump. And when I've got a big difference like that, I love to bid. Okay, so let's look at the hand and see what it does. Okay. So West has opened 1 no trump with a 12 count. And we've chosen to bid 2 spades. And what I simply want you to do is look at the East hand and see what you're going to bid. Okay, have a look at that East hand. And what are you going to bid? And I don't mind what you bid, but you've got a problem. Okay, you have a problem. Now, I have to say, like to play penalty doubles in this situation. I know a lot of you will play takeout, but the problem with a takeout double is how much strength does it show? Does it show 11 or does it show 7 or 8 points? Okay, the reason I like to play penalty doubles is because when I know what's in my partner's hand, so if he's opened a no trump, I love to play doubles for penalties, so I wouldn't be doubling with this hand. Okay, I might just bid 2 no trumps actually. That's a nice descriptive bid. I know you haven't got a spade stopper, and then your partner might bid 3 hearts if he wants to. Okay, but if he wants to go on, he may well pass 2 no trumps. If you play double, the only problem with that is your partner bids 3 hearts. And how do you know whether you should bid game or not? So whatever you bid, whatever you choose, there's no right answer. So if you do play your doubles as takeout, and do make sure you do in this situation, because I don't. As soon as my partner's open 1 no trump, I like to play doubles for penalties. Okay, because he's described his hand. Okay, so if I had a penalty double here, I wouldn't be able to do anything because I know my partner won't be able to bid again. Okay, so it's not easy here. Okay. Not easy, but if you do double, that's fine. If you could decide I'm going to go for game anyway and bid the opponent's suit. You can't bid 3 hearts. That would promise at least 5. But all I'm telling you is it's given you a problem, hasn't it? That 2 spade overcall has made your life a misery. If it goes 1 no trump pass, we bid Stayman. So if it goes 1 no trump pass from North, we bid Stamen, 2 clubs. We find our fit and then we decide how high to go. Okay, 2 no trumps is definitely not ideal. You haven't got a spade stopper, but I'm not sure anything is ideal. Because as I say, if you double and your partner does, let's say, bid 3 clubs or 3 diamonds or 3 hearts, what do you bid next? Do you bid 4? Do you bid 3 no trumps? Let's say he bids. It's very difficult. It's taken away your precision. So it's really tricky. It's forcing you to tell a lie, basically, and it's very hard to find the right contract. Okay? And that's all I'm saying. Just remember that an overcall isn't just to show strength or this or that. We're doing it for reasons. And one of the major reasons for overcalling is to disrupt the opponents. I love having a system opposite 1 no trump because the weak no trump comes up a lot. So you should have a good system here. Okay? All right. To be fair, Lebenssoul gives you options. Someone's mentioning that there. Lebenssoul is not an easy convention, and I wouldn't recommend it to the light-hearted. Okay, it has about 8 or 9 different options, and because everybody has different versions of those options, remembering them requires an abacus. Okay. So just basically you've got a problem. That's it. Okay, so let's just look at what will probably happen on the hand. 4 hearts might scrape home. It may well go off. It's very hard to judge. 2 spades, believe it or not, is going to make with an overtrick. And that's what's crazy. Your partner's got 2 little spades, and yet you can actually make 2 spades plus 1. And that is the potential of the North hand. 6, 4, 2, 1. If you're counting losers, notice what you've got there. Now, it is an aceless hand. We talked about that. But it's a 6 loser hand. If you end up with a fit, you'll probably be upgrading for the length of your spades anyway. But it's probably between 6 and 6.5. Remember, aceless hands you should be downgrading. But you can see the potential of the hand. So I think it's worth a gamble bidding 2 spades there. Okay? And just remember, if it goes wrong, you know it's your fault and just take the blame. Okay? If you're vulnerable, don't do it. Okay? Because vulnerable, you're going to get into trouble a lot. You know, even if they don't double or whatever, 2 spades minus 2 can be a bottom. Okay? All right, so bear that in mind. Okay? All we know is that we've caused Easter headache, and that's one of the ambitions that we do. Okay, remember that 10 of spades, is Ian's saying there, the 10 of spades is very important on this hand. And it's not easy for those of you not been playing so long, to you that might be an irrelevance. But the 10 of spades makes it very likely that you're going to make 4 spades from that holding. And if you get a bad break, you'll probably still make 3 spades. If you take the 10 of spades away there and make it queen, jack, small, 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 well then you'll often have 3 losers. But if there's a bad break, you may well lose 4. And that's when it gets painful. So that 10 of spades is valuable. Okay, let's just remind ourselves what I said yesterday. Now I'm going to show you one other hand after this. Okay, so overcall for good reasons. I like reasons, not just simple rules. So try and remember the various reasons we had, which were lead directing, simply competitive when you've got a stronger hand, sacrificing, but also that disruptive element. And the last 2 were spades, and that's what I've said there, and vulnerability. Non-vulnerable, just bid more. Simple rule. Okay, what your partner will eventually tell you, okay, that's enough, but bid more because it tends to win. Spades, love them. Just learn to love them. And don't forget, if I ever overcall with a weak hand, I will have a strong suit. So Queen Jack 10 to 6 to me is a good suit. Okay, so my partner will bid it. Okay. So let's just look at this hand. We've seen it before. I just want to remind you of this type of overcall which goes wrong. We saw it, I think, believe it or not, in not week 2, but seminar 2. So that is a long time ago. Seminar 2 was this. We had been talking about competitive doubles. So we'll just have a look at this one and remind ourselves of it. So West opened 1 spade and it's North's bid. Okay, it's North's bid, and obviously you're going to look at the hand and decide to pass, but a lot of people will overcall with this hand. So a lot of people will overcall with this hand, and don't get me wrong, I showed a hand 2 days ago, not 2 days ago, 2 seminars ago on Monday, where we overcalled at the 1 level with a very weak suit. And that's correct, because you've got an opening hand. The 2 level, though, for me is reserved for decent hands. So it's not just an opening strength, but a good suit. And the reason is because against experienced opponents, you'll get doubled. There is the potential of ending up in a doubled contract. Now, bear in mind, at your local club, you probably won't get doubled in 2 diamonds. So let's do a 2 diamond overcall. I don't want you to do it, but at your local club, if you never get doubled, carry on doing it, Suzanne. That's no problem. Because if you never end up getting doubled in 2 diamonds, it's fine. I don't know if you can see that. But as you play against more experienced players, you may find the auction going like this. So East hasn't got much. He passes. South passes, nothing to say. And West, what we said with the West hand, again, I say this is a long time ago. It's about 8 weeks ago, I think. No, 9 weeks ago, we reopen with a double with this hand. So West doesn't say 2 spades and whatever, and often they will do that against you. 2 spades and therefore 2 diamonds has been okay, and you've managed to say, let's get in the auction, and sometimes you'll be able to compete. So 2 diamonds isn't necessarily going to fail, but you will, if you overcall on weak suits, sometimes find that you get doubled like this. And of course, remember, West's double is for takeout. West's double is for takeout. He's buying a king. He's saying, I think we should be in this auction, partner. Please bid me your best suit. And of course, on this occasion, East chooses to pass because his diamonds are so strong. With Ace, Jack, 9, 8 sitting over what he expects to be King, Queen, 10, he's going to make 3 diamond tricks. And that's going to be enough to take 2 diamonds, 2 off. And that will be a lovely score. Thank you very much. Okay. Notice also, though, that there'll be times where simply they'll finish in 3 no trumps and South is going to lead the king of diamonds. He's expecting you to have a good suit to set up, whereas actually from your point of view, a club could be the best lead, couldn't it? So don't forget, if you do overcall, quite often your partner is going to lead your suit ahead of anything else. Okay. That was just to remind you of that and why we have reasons for overcalling, and so you need more than just one. So I don't think 2 diamonds is disruptive. It's not going to win any auctions. The only real reason for overcalling, I think, on this hand would be competitive. Do you know what I mean? But that's not quite enough for me. You're also non-vulnerable, I should say. So there's a couple of things in the favour, but I don't think that's quite enough, therefore, to do. Okay. That's enough with that one. As I say, I expect 2 diamonds to go down. Let's go to the quiz. There we go. And I think most people were getting this right. Don't worry if you didn't. This very much comes from experiences. From experience, you have got 4 aces, and many of you may have heard people talk about aces being worth a little bit more than 4 points. So that should take your hand a bit higher, but we have the dreaded 4-3-3-3. And you do not even have an 8 in your hand. So I've given you no intermediates at all. So let's remind ourselves what's happening. You've opened it a 20 to 22 no trump. Some of you may play different, but assuming it's a 20 to 22, your partner has bid 4 no trumps. He is asking if you are minimum or maximum. Okay. Now, I like that, Peter, very good. I've not used that one. Acefulness, as opposed to acelessness, acefulness. Very good. So he's asking if we're minimum or maximum. Now, you've got to make a decision. So I don't really want you bidding 5 no trumps here. And someone did suggest it. I can see why you're doing it. You're saying, partner, I'm in the middle. The problem is you're then sitting on the edge of a coin. And if your partner says, well, I've only got 19, I've only got 11, so 11 plus 21 is 32, oh, we better pass, you may find yourself going off in 5 no trumps. So I think you've got to decide. If you've got 20, you have an easy decision. If you've got 22, you have an easy decision. With 21, I want you simply to decide whether you are liking your hand or you're not. So if you like this hand, you think it's a nice 21, you go 6 no trumps. If you think it's a bad 21, you settle for 4 no trumps. And I think most people have decided that it is, as I agree, a poor-ish. It's a mediocre 21, but it's certainly not a good 21. Okay, and as we've said, for no trump contracts, you need more than aces and kings. I say as we've said, it's actually in my mind because it's a seminar I've been going over about slams. So it's probably not in your head, but it's in my head. And aces, 4 aces and 4 kings make 8 tricks. So you've got all the aces and all the kings, but you haven't got enough queens and jacks. And that's why I think you'll find that 6 no trumps is too high. You've got 10 top tricks, which is good news because you're in 4 no trumps. If diamonds break 3-2, you'll make an extra trick in diamonds, but then your only hope is a 3-3 break in clubs. So needing a 3-2 break and a 3-3 break would leave you around the 25% mark, maybe between 20 and 25%. It's not a good slam. I've seen a lot worse, believe me, but it's not a good slam. Why is it not good? Because of the shape. If you had, even if you just had a 4-4-3-2 shape, maybe give yourself a 4th club, suddenly you've got a chance of making, a good chance of making this slam. So a bit more shape, 2 4-card suits, and you might think, well, I've got 21, and I've got a reasonable hand, I'll go for it. But 4-3-3-3 is notorious. Over time, you will find that the point count overvalues it. The losing trick count, as I say, undervalued, but the point count overvalues it. So do get into the habit of downgrading 4-3-3-3 hands. Okay, let's have a quick chat about what have we got here. Oh, me, why not? So Bernard Magee Bridge is the website. So it's bernardmageebridge.com. You can see what we do there, and the plan is I'm hoping to create a community of bridge players. Let's get it going. Seminars, set hands and things like this. Set hands is crucial to me. So a lot of people have been asking, how are the set hands going to be played? Okay, you can play them on your own software. You can play them on BBO. So we will be setting up tournaments, as it were. They won't be competitive tournaments. It'll be an 8-board thing, and you'll be able to play the hands. You can also play them by yourselves on BBO if you prefer, but you will have to load them up. I will have a video explaining that. So there's a variety of ways. The 4th option is you do not have to play them if you do not want to. You can just watch all the videos I'll be making on them. So there'll be an individual video that goes with each hand, and you will be able to look at them. But it is quite good to have a go at them yourself because that to me is a great way of learning. So having a seminar there and then being able to have a go at playing the hands. And as I say, what we're going to start with, the first month on board is going to be all about slams. And in fact, I may even make it 2 months because I've got, it's an exciting topic. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's an exciting topic. But we're trying, I've had a lot of feedback already, people hoping there'll be some stuff for lesser players. And so we'll have a beginner's corner, well, not so much beginners, but novice corner, and try and do some things for them. With regard to other systems, I will try and have the odd thing. I wouldn't be talking about exotic systems, but maybe on some 5-card majors, and whatever people want. So hopefully the site will evolve. We'll have a chat room, which will be manned for an hour or so each weekday. A lot of the Mr. Bridge team have said they're willing to be involved with that. So we'll hopefully have that. They'll be able to answer bridge questions and any questions you fancy. And hopefully it will evolve over time, and we'll have some fun there. You can register as a founder member. It's $11.99 per month, and the cost afterwards, after into July, would be $13.99. Okay, so even just for the saving of £2 a month. But also you're going to be supporting me. You're going to get special offers of various and discounts and things like that. And one more thing for couples. If one of you signs up, we'll explain to the other one what the situation will be. We will have an offer for couples. If you have already both signed up, we will also get in touch with you as well. Okay, so for couples, one of you can sign up, and then we will have a special for the 2 in a household there. So do bear with us on that, because we're just making sure how we do it. If you've got any problems, do email us at info@bernardmageebridge.com or support@bernardmageebridge.com, because we can look after you, and I've been responding to lots of emails, not just to happy birthdays, but to all sorts. Okay, let's have a look at the next quiz. So hopefully see a few of you at the website. Well, I won't see you there because it's just a welcome page, and welcome. So here, 3 clubs from your partner, pass. 3 clubs from your partner, pass, and it's your bid. 3 clubs from your partner, pass, and it is your bid. I've got the vulnerability up there. It's north, south vulnerable, and east, west are non-vulnerable. So you are non-vulnerable, and your opponents are vulnerable. Okay. So an interesting one for you there to have a think over the weekend. So once again, 3 clubs from your partner, pass, and it's your bid. Okay, so we've got, let's have a look at the Q Plus hand of the day. So this was sent in by Roselle. And what's interesting about this hand is you can't always choose your opponents. So I like to play relatively simple systems. So let's look at this one. East is the opening bidder. I think we've got some 5 clubs and 3 no trumps coming in there. That's good. So East is the opening bidder. You've got a lovely hand, haven't you? So we're going to open 1 spade with that. So let's do it. Pass from South. What are you going to bid with the West hand? Just while we're on this, just to explain, because a number of people have been wondering, do they need Q Plus to sign up? No, you don't. You don't need that at all. I will be talking about some hands using Q Plus, and so people will, will be able to gain from that. I am also going to do a video on how to use Q Plus for those people who want that. That will come through, but you do not need the software at all. It will be one of the options, but you don't need that at all. Okay, so it's 1 spade from East, pass, and it's West to respond. What do you think? Gosh, it's tricky, isn't it? I mean, I think probably you should bid 1 no trump. Mohammed Mahmood's come up with the answer that this player has because they're playing a particular convention. So you do have to have a convention of weak jump responses. I don't like it at this vulnerability opposite a partner. I really don't recommend having 3 hearts showing a weak hand at this vulnerability. As it happens, this hand would fit into it, but there's going to be very few. Okay, just to explain then, so you can agree with your partner that jump responses are weak, but please make sure you've agreed it, because otherwise there's a huge difference, because for most people 3 hearts is going to show 16 points. Okay, so be very careful, because if you bid it here and partner thinks you're strong, he's going to jump to 6 no trumps because he's got 16. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. The problem with 2 hearts is that is definitely 10 or more points. So I think you've got a choice between 1 no trump or nothing, most of us, if you happen to have agreed with your partner that 3 hearts is weak. But I must say, I do not recommend it. I'm happy with jump overcalls, jump responses to the 2 level, but jumping to the 3 level, it feels like preempting your partner. You'd need to have 4 long tricks here. The problem with bidding 2 hearts, I mean, I can see what David's saying. He's saying 7 plus 3 for length. The problem is I have a minimum point count for my bids, because if East has a singleton heart and 15 points, he is going to be bidding 3 no trumps. Okay, and clearly your hand is just a disaster for that. Okay, and you know it's going to work if you've got a fit. Remember, you can only add on for singletons and distribution if you've agreed. Okay. However, I'm going to put 3 hearts in because that's the bid made at the table. Okay, the problem really is North's bid. Okay, so Roselle, I think, had the North hand and didn't know what to bid with the North hand. Okay, so let's assume it's 3 hearts. Okay, if it had gone 1 no trump, of course North would have had no problem. Okay, so once again, for those of you who've never come across this, just ignore the 3 heart bid, but you cannot choose your opponents So what's happened here is that East and West are playing a convention in which 3 hearts shows a weak response. Okay, all right, so North now has to bid. Now, look in the centre of the table if you can, or at the top right, you'll see white arrows to the top and bottom, vulnerable arrows to the East and West. And that's why I'm amazed at this 3 heart bid here, but it's vulnerable, you know, it is, yeah, a risky type of bid. So, what are you going to bid? You can pass, of course, and a lot of you probably will, and I think that's actually what happened at the table. Pass is perfectly reasonable. Generally, if you're going to double, someone's choosing double, then I would double with more sort of balanced-ish, strongish hands here, okay? So I'd prefer not to double. 4 hearts, again, I'd probably use as a stronger bid. 3 no trumps would be natural. If you could bid 4 no trumps. Okay, now I'm hoping that 4 no trumps is not blackwood. 4 no trumps would be showing a very distributional hand with the 2 minors. To be honest, I might just start. I don't think this is necessarily going to be the end of the auction. I might start with 4 clubs. I don't just want to guess here. So 4 no trumps would give my partner a choice between 2 suits. Because my clubs are a bit stronger, I might choose 4 clubs here. Okay, but I'm going to bid something, and that's the key. At the vulnerability, if it all goes horrible for me, I still might be okay, because if I get doubled and go 3 off, it's less than their game. So let's say it went 4 clubs. I think East should bid 4 hearts here. He's got a really good hand, and at the vulnerability expected to make. South should definitely pass. He's got that horrible 4-3-3-3 shape, and nothing to commend it. And the bidding comes back to North. Okay. Now this isn't easy. It's exotic, but the whole hand is exotic. And so often these are the hands I get sent in. Hands that have 6 and 5 or 7-4 shape. So this is not going to come up often. But I would now bid 4 no trumps. And that says, partner, I have the minors. But you've seen me bid clubs, partner, so I must have more clubs than diamonds. So Andy's saying there 4 no trumps. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Oh, sorry, I've just passed. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, so it went pass. 4 no trumps, pass, and South would choose clubs, of course. Now that is awesomely difficult. Okay, it's an awesomely difficult auction. I think probably the auction would carry on and it would go to a double there. Okay. It would not be right for West under any circumstances to bid 5 hearts here. The only person who's allowed to bid 5 hearts is East. West has described his hand. Now, 5 hearts may well work on this hand. Okay, it may well work, but it doesn't matter. It is East's job to bid 5 hearts if that's correct. West has made the preemptive bid. That's so important. And of course, 5 clubs doubled works out really well for East-West. Sorry, for North-South. I don't know if you can see that, but you're going to lose. If you look at the North hand, you're just going to lose 2 aces, the ace of hearts and the ace of spades, and you will lose 2 diamonds. And that's 2 off, doubled, non-vulnerable is just 300 points. And everything happens to sit right for your opponents. The heart finesse works, so even if you lead both your aces out, they will make 11 tricks. If you fail to lead your ace of clubs out, they'll actually make 12 tricks. And if you don't lead any of your aces, I guess, no, they shouldn't make 13 unless you duck. Okay, so you can see that 5 hearts would make. If you don't play weak jump overcalls, Tony's asking, I think it's that Tony or Anthony, is asking whether 4 hearts would be an option. Again, vulnerable against not as a responding bid. You may find that they can't make game, you can't make game, and you're vulnerable going off. So I would, tend not to do it, but it doesn't look like a 1 no trump bid. Remember, we tell lies all the time in this game, so I don't mind if you bid 2 hearts. You just got to be understanding that your partner's going to overbid a lot of the time. So a bit of a crazy hand. I like bidding. Give me the vulnerability when non-vulnerable is against vulnerable. non-vulnerable against vulnerable. I'm going to go. Good point there, Ian. I mean, Suzanne's suggested bidding diamonds and then clubs. This 4 no trump bid, you may not have come across it. If anybody plays the 2 no trump bid as the unusual 2 no trumps, it is a sort of mirror to that. And the idea is, partner, I've got 2 suits. I've already bid clubs. You must know I've got time, but very difficult. So please don't go anywhere near this if you're just starting bridge. Okay, this is for the more wholehearted. Okay, believe me, we'll have all sorts. We're going to try and hopefully entertain everybody on our new website. And the most important thing for me is that you get involved, tell me what you want, and we'll try and supply it. That's the plan anyway. I won't be able to do everything, of course. And we'll carry on doing some lives, but a lot of it will be obviously seminars that I've created, and lots of videos and quizzes. And we should have fun. I mean, that's the main thing. And by having people in the chat room at a given time on certain days, there's going to be people there for you to integrate. I'll be online, of course, as well at times. And I'm looking forward to it. That's all I can say. So visit me. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a lovely weekend. We've got the teams. I've forgotten the teams. The teams, of course. Teams is going to be back in the normal place. So it's still going to be on YouTube. So we'll try and make sure you can see it more easily. We're going to be playing teams at 7:30. We'll set up the table for 7:15 and you'll be able to see it on YouTube. So please join us there for tonight. Is it going to be rosé or white tonight? I am not sure. Thank you very much, everybody.